today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. It's kind of like a what's new in makeup, or using the items from my most recent monthly makeup basket. So I have the Too Faced Natural Collection, Smashbox Vlada, just a ton of new stuff, honestly. So let's go ahead and get started. I've been enjoying starting these videos with a little bit of skin prep, so I'm going to be using this from Drunk Elephant. It is their Umbra Tint Physical Daily Defense. This has an SPF of 30 in there, and I'm working on a new SPFs for oily skin, so stay tuned for that. I will link my previous one down below. But I showed this on Instagram stories a little while back, and a lot of you were curious about how it was going to work for a little bit deeper skin, so let's see. And I'm also curious as how it works for oily skin in general, because a lot of the time, a lot of the moisturizers that I love don't include SPF, like the really light ones, because I think SPF is a bit of a heavier product, but I do have a few really good ones to include in my next video. So this feels really good. They've also got another one that's sheer. It's a little bit different. This one is supposed to have a bit of a glow to it. But it feels like a sunscreen. It doesn't feel super heavy, but at the same time it doesn't feel super light, if that makes sense. So it is definitely a super glowy, and looking up really close at my skin, it has like little flicks of glitter in there. Not like huge chunks, but like very, very little. I actually had to put it out on my hand to double check, so that's something to keep in mind. But it doesn't look, it didn't like turn me purple, which is something that I look for in an SPF, so that is very important. And then I'm going to move on to their new eye cream as well. I've been using this for a couple weeks. It's the C Tango Multivitamin Eye Cream, and I've really been liking this as well. I just love their packaging as well. It is a little bulky for an eye cream, but at the same time it's just like no mess, no spilling. And I've been using this day and night and really liking it for both. I feel like my hair is flat, which I know a lot of you will be like, oh my god, like it's not flat, but to me it's kind of flat today. It's just, I don't know, it looks kind of like all one circle. I like it when it's a little bit more piecey, if that makes sense. Anyways, on my lips, I'm going to be using the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask in Lavender. This is their newest scent, and I'm going to prep my lips with this. I really like their lip masks. I like the Bite Beauty Lip Mask for the day, and at night I like the Laneige. So this isn't exactly new, but I kind of wanted to use it again today because I've been wanting to test it out more. It's the Infallible Matte Lock, and it's from L'Oreal. So they have a matte lock and a matte glow, maybe it is. They have a glowy one and a mattifying. This is like kind of a lotion texture, which is nice. I really don't like anything too silicone-y. I like things that are more lotiony and then dry down matte, because I find anything too silicone-y just is kind of harder to work with. But I don't really have that many thoughts on this because I haven't tried it that much, but let me know if you have tried it. For foundation, I'm going to be using something very highly requested, and I myself was very curious about it. It's the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. I have a few different shades they sent me. This one is G60, which I believe my first ever mystery foundation review. I think this is going to be really flattering. Stunning. I think I wore, I can't even take myself seriously. I'm sorry I'm looking at myself, but I'm just like, I feel like I look like a young Michael Jackson or just like an 80s dude. Anyways, this is their newest foundation, but I did review their natural foundation for my mystery foundation review, which that series will be coming back, but I think I wore G60 in that, so let me try G60 today. And I don't even remember like what the claims are for this or anything like that, but I'm going to use two different tools. So I have the Artiste brush, and then I have the 3D HD from Sigma. And neither of these tools are the kind of tools I would generally go with. You know that I'm like a buffing brush kind of person, but I figured we would try it. I'm so curious about this Artiste brush. I mentioned it in my monthly makeup basket, and I'm going to need to try it with like foundations I'm more familiar with too, but I haven't liked any of the paddle brushes that I've tried that are supposed dupes. So I'm curious if I'm actually going to like this. You know, it's like if you had tried a bunch of like beauty blender dupes that sucked, you would say like, I hate sponges for my makeup application. But if you were to try like the real thing, you may feel completely different. So we'll see. I feel like G60 is a good match, and I will do an oily skin diaries on this, but this is my first time trying it today, so I'm going to need a little bit more time with it. This Artiste brush for sure feels really soft. But what I find about these, not this brush, but the dupes of it, is that it just really removes all the coverage. But this seems to be blending really nicely. This is is a good size too. It's the oval 7. So let me try the other side with the sponge, and I've heard great things about this Sigma sponge. I like the flat sides of it. I feel like I'm maybe not getting as much coverage on the sponge side, which depending on the foundation that happens. If you want the most coverage, you're going to want to go with something dense. Okay, so this foundation says it's full coverage, and I don't feel like it necessarily is so far. It might just be my tools though, keep that in mind. But I feel like I've had to use quite a bit in comparison to some other foundations that I would feel like, oh, that's definitely full coverage, tread lightly. I don't feel like that's the case here, which I don't mind. I actually have been preferring a medium. I don't feel like it's super, super full coverage. I'll have to try it with another brush like my e.l.f. one, but I feel like the color match is good. I like the way it looks on my skin. It's blending seamlessly. And I actually am going somewhere today. Normally, when I do get ready with me, I'm not always going somewhere because I'm just scared of how my makeup's gonna turn out. And I have like my go-to routine. I did a foundation routine recently, if you want to know like what I go to. But I see sometimes people testing out foundations on like the day they have to go somewhere, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have the skin for that. I can't afford that. So I think this looks beautiful. I don't see a huge difference in Artiste versus sponge, but you let me know. Sponge may look a little more dewy. I can't take myself seriously with this hair. Okay, so let's take it down. This is better. So this is the EX1 Delete Fluid Concealer. I reviewed their foundation a ways back when I first moved to Toronto, I think it was. So this concealer, it seems like it's going to be really thick. Ooh, I like it so far. This is a good color for me, shade 8. And that EX1 concealer was sent to me, but when I bought the foundation, I bought it on Look Fantastic, and I had a good experience shipping with them to Canada. I didn't get any customs or anything like that. That was a couple years ago, but it didn't actually take as long as I was expecting it to. Blending out the concealer with my fingers. I like it. It feels nice. I'm super picky on concealers. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that picky on that many products. Like, I have preferences obviously, but for concealers I find I end up being the most dissatisfied. And I guess foundations, but concealers for sure on the under eyes. So I like how that looks. To set my under eyes, I'm using this Bobbi Brown retouching powder in yellow on an e.l.f. Small tapered brush. The juxtaposition of Bobbi Brown and e.l.f. But anyways, it's all about balance, people. From EX1, I'm going to be using their powder foundation, and I don't know, this looks a little bit olive. They do kind of gear towards more olive skin tones, which I'm not really. This is the, what's it called? Pure Crushed Minerals Powder Foundation. I have it in the shade 10, and this powder brush is from a brand called Jessup. I got it on eBay. We reviewed it a while back. But, oh, also, I wanted to say, thank you so much to anybody who's been joining me on Instagram lives. I have been having, I think the best one I did was like 2 weeks ago. I was getting ready to go out. I did my makeup, had some wine. It was just like, it was so fun. It was like I was getting ready with friends, and I feel like I get so much closer to you guys because I can actually like have a dialogue back and forth. Like, I always try to answer all your questions and comments in the comment section, but it can be like a couple hours later and you don't have that same dialogue, so I've really, really been enjoying that. I didn't do them because I figured nobody would watch, but it seems like people are liking them, so I'm glad. Okay, so that seems really smooth, really, really nice, not cakey at all. Okay, so bringing you in for eyes, I'm using the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I've raved about the face palette of this, obsessed with it. I will link to like a mini tutorial down below because I was going to use it in this video, but I've talked about it so much that I was like, let me use the eye palette instead. So I'm actually going to start with this shade here, which is Less is More, and it's taking everything in me not to start with this shade, but I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone, so let's start here. Like, not starting with a warm brown in the crease, it's terrifying. But that's actually a really pretty shade. I'm gonna go like kind of like mauvey, purpley-ish. Just building it up. This brush is from BH Cosmetics. A lot of the time I don't tell you where my eye brushes are. Why is it so bright? A lot of the time I don't tell you where my eye brushes are from because this is a BH Cosmetics brush that I've had for 6 years. And people are always asking, I'm like, I don't have that many new eye brushes for whatever reason. So then on my outer corner, I'm going to take Risky Biz, and then I'm going to take a little of Risky Biz and Cleavage on the lower lash line. This, I can tell you, is the Morphe M513. So I'm just putting it in the outer corner. Let me know if you have tried this collection. Like I said, I have been just so pleasantly surprised by the face palette. Then with the M514, I'm taking Cleavage, which is the purpley, the lightest purpley shade under the lower lash line here. Gonna take just a smidgen of hookup here. This is on one of those Tarte unicorn brushes. And a little on the lower lash line. Okay, so committing to the purple thing, I'm gonna take this Joe Fresh palette and put this purple shade here on my lid. And this will be in an upcoming Canadian Beauty video. So this is a BH old brush as well. But again, in typical Samantha style, tries a brush, moves on to fingers. This is a pretty shade. Doesn't look like much in the pan, but it has a little iridescence. And I put down a little bit more eyeshadow primer. I was wearing, I initially put down the Milani one, but then I put down the NYX Waterproof just on top there, because I like that it has the doe foot, so I can get a little bit more precise. I am going to come back to this palette for inner corner and use a combination of Lace Teddy and whatever this one is. I would consider this a cool tone look. Would you? I don't know. I'm so blinded by like super warm tone looks that I don't really have a good gauge anymore. Ooh, these two colors mixed together are great for the brow bone. I normally don't like a brow bone, but this is good. So I was gonna do liner, but then I remembered I had a new mascara to test, and I feel like it's easier to see mascaras when there's no liner. So this is new from Covergirl. It is the Flourish Lash Blast. So I think it has like coconut, avocado, and maybe papaya in there, and it's supposed to be good for volume. It has a plastic brush, and I really like Covergirl mascaras, so let's see how this goes. And you guys actually voted on this one. I've been using like the community tab on YouTube. So you voted on the foundation and you voted on the mascara, so thank you for your help. And stay tuned for my Instagram choosing my makeup, because you guys chose my whole face. Okay, sorry I couldn't talk to you while I was putting that on, but I think Flourish is a really good name for this, because I do really feel like it has that fluttery, long feel, and I feel like you'd be hard-pressed to get this clumpy. It's very, very buildable, and it really does kind of, I don't know, it looks really good. I think it's gonna be good for the lower lash line too. So that is what my lashes look like. I think they look super long and really, really fluttery. Really curled as well. So this isn't new, but I've been telling you that I'm gonna use it in a video for so long. So it's the Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light. I'm just really curious to know if it's gonna look like a bronzer. I don't think I've ever used it. I'm gonna put it on my Sigma F80 because it is kind of it's not a powdery product, but I don't wanna pick up too much. I'm just really curious if it's actually going to bronze versus no bronze. I think it actually did show up, which surprises me. And it definitely is shimmery for sure. Not like chunky by any means, but oh yeah, that totally shows up. It's so weird. In swatching it, it doesn't look like it's going to show up at all. And I didn't find that I could see the Drunk Elephant like shimmer through my foundation either. I find most products like that you can actually see through foundation. Same with like the YSL primer. I am going to try the Too Faced Sun Bunny on top of it just out of curiosity. But I can't believe that works. I don't think it's like the perfect shade for me, but it definitely shows up on my forehead. Because these are both quite shimmery bronzers, which I normally don't go for. There's a time and a place, you know? I just want to quickly bouge it up with my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder, because I feel like those are both really light, nice, shimmery bronzers, but they didn't add like any definition to my face, and I am leaving the house. So I would like a little more color. So this look is actually working out quite well. I didn't plan this at all, but I've got a great new purple blush to try, or hopefully great, from Joe Fresh. It is their Color Me Pink Blush Trio, and I think I'm going to use this kind of mauvey shade here on an Up and Up blush brush, RIP Target Canada. I'll never get over that loss. Ooh yeah, it's nice and purpley. And I feel like you could get several skin tones in here. We all know how I feel about Canadian brands and their shade ranges. For highlighter, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Vlada Prismatic Petal Metal Highlighter. And if you follow me on Instagram or watched my most recent monthly makeup basket, I said that I was at the event for this, and Vlada said that you need to use like a denser brush and really swirl because it's packed quite tightly. But I'm going to try without a super dense brush right now. This is the, oh lordy! Wow, okay. Okay, do you see how purple that is on my face right now? I thought I wasn't going to get much product because she said you need to use a dense brush. Vlada! Whoa! Okay. That's my Morphe highlighter brush that I use all the time, and then this is the Morphe E53. Okay, that's very pretty. It's going to be incredible on deeper skin tones. There's 3 different shades. I just went a little hard. but that is so pretty. Oh, wow. Beautiful like inner corner highlight. Maybe I'll do that. Let's put it in there. YOLO, as the kids used to say. This is beautiful. I'd love to try the other one they have too that's a little more, not really subdued, it's just a little lighter. I don't know how I ended up with like all these purpley rosy things, but it's coming together. Finally, for lips, I'm going to be using one of the Bite Beauty Spice Collection Amuse Bouche lipsticks. This collection is incredible. Every shade is a hit. Bite Beauty always knocks it out of the park. I am going to use a little lip liner. I don't need to, but I want to. It's MAC Nice and Spicy. And then the shade I'm using is Toasted Cardamom, which is just like a perfect nude for me. And I have a lip swatch video of this whole collection. I will link to it down below. It's such a good collection. And then to set this sucker in place, from CoverFX, this is their high performance setting spray. So they have an illuminating and a mattifying, then they recently released a dewy and high performance. So, and that setting spray has a pretty nice mist. The high performance is supposed to make your makeup last all day, and it's also alcohol free if that's a concern of yours. But here is the finished look. I think it came together pretty well. I was honestly a little bit nervous about reaching for that Too Faced palette because I was like, don't you dare put that warm shade in the crease or all over the lid. And I put a little in there, but I think this is an interesting look. I know I've said before that I don't wear a lot of purple. Did that leave a mark on me? I thought it left like a little water droplet, but I know I've said recently that I don't wear a lot of purple, and now I've worn purple in like a few Get Ready With Me. I have like that new Bomb palette one, there was a ColourPop video, maybe something else. Anyways, this is the finished look. My hair is driving me crazy. Stay tuned as well. I don't know where it's going to pop up, but I'm going to do a giveaway for the other palette from the Natural Collection because that one just doesn't appeal to me as much, and it's a beautiful palette, but I know that I would definitely reach for the matte one over the other one, so I figured I might as well give one to one of you. And recently Tarte sent me all of their Tarte lip palettes too, so there's going to be lots of giveaways coming up. So anyways, here's the finished look. Sorry I keep touching my hair, but it's just, it needs a good zhuzh, you know? Okay, I'll let you go. You don't need to watch me zhuzh my hair. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at samanthajaneyt, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!